Hello everybody, welcome back to a brand new video. We just hit 24.3k subscribers. Can we get to 25k by the end of the month? Please subscribe and like the video down below before we get started. But now let's get started. Today we're going to be discussing Virginia possibly having some counties switch over to join West Virginia. Now this probably is not necessarily a big thing. I don't really think it has a very viable chance at happening, but still, it does seem like a lot of people are angry with the Second Amendment laws that they've been passing that infringe on the Second Amendment down in Richmond. So it does seem like there's a lot of people that are in support of Second Amendment sanctuary counties joining the red state of West Virginia. Apparently, as we hear, and a lot of people are very angry, the legislature of West Virginia already has a law on the books that would already allow certain counties in the state of Virginia to join West Virginia, and there are a lot of counties out there that very well could do this. However, it does seem like the map could look a little messed up. You would want all the counties to be in line so you would have something like that to happen, and it does seem like that's the case. Now, do I think it's going to happen? Well, probably not. It really doesn't seem like it has a realistic chance at happening, but if it did, I've had people crunch the numbers on this saying that it could net West Virginia another 5 electoral votes, therefore giving it 10 electoral votes, and Virginia would just be 8. This would be a net gain for the Republicans, and every Republican should be supporting this in form of an electoral basis. So here you don't even have to win the Rust Belt. You could win New Hampshire. You're already tied for the Electoral College. You could go over and put your eggs in one basket in Nevada. Win that 271, you got 270. So it really seems like off the bat you'll have a much easier chance at winning. Even if Trump wins Wisconsin, I do expect him to at the moment. It does seem like that would be enough to put him over the top, and it doesn't seem like any faithless electors would be able to consistently just throw the election away in favor of the Democrat winning, but it does seem like this is a very good measure, and if it passed, and you have a lot of people angry in Virginia, you have a lot of people angry in West Virginia, and when it comes down to things, a lot of people talk about what states could form. You have people in the Northern California, the Republicans in Northern California wanting to break off with some rural Oregonians to form a new state out there. You have a lot of people that want Chicago to be its own state, and you want people in the rest of Illinois to be a state, because without Cook County, Illinois would have been a lean to likely Trump state without Cook County, by the way. And as you see here, there's many other states like New York. Upstate New York could become its own state. I think it still voted for Hillary by such a narrow margin, but it does seem like if it wasn't a swing state environment, I would expect Trump to win there. It definitely would be a swing state. You definitely still have a lot of left-wing areas like Albany. You have left-wing areas like Buffalo, and it goes on and on. But it does seem like this is a phenomenon you have with an urban-rural divide. In basically what it does, it will start a civil war, whether you like it or not, within these states. You see this happening in every state where a couple big cities overpower. You're starting to see the same thing in Arizona. Phoenix takes over the entire state. You're starting to see the same thing in Texas. You see Dallas and Houston growing rapidly in size, making the state more Democrat. So it does seem like these cities and their growth are being a big problem for people. And you see this in Virginia, especially in the Nova area. And what the elites have done is they've taken the guns away from people in the state of Virginia. They have infringed on their rights where they don't want to, and now they're becoming sanctuary counties. Now they're fighting those, so they very well could join the more conservative state of West Virginia. And this would definitely help out Republicans electorally. Trump would have got that 311 if this was the case, and this is a high estimate. It could only net West Virginia a couple, 2 or 3 electoral votes, but it would still be a big bonus for Republicans in the electoral map. It might not change anything off the bat, but it does seem like it would be a lot more difficult for Democrats to win or for Democrats to steal the election in terms of the faithless electors. The state of Virginia alone would become basically a safe blue state at that point. West Virginia might get technically a little bit closer, but it would gain more voting power, so it would basically overthrow the ruling party in Virginia, and it would overthrow the Democrat votes there, so it would be beneficial to Republicans. In the state of Virginia, you would have less electoral influence because there's less population. And the map would look very different. It does seem like West Virginia would basically be split more down the middle, and Virginia would be split more towards the east, where you have the DC suburbs. You have some places out there in Virginia. You have places out there like Virginia Beach. Even though some of these areas are still conservative, they are population centers. Nothing is nearly as big as Nova and Maryland. If anything, DC at this point could very well become a part of New Virginia or East Virginia, and I think that would be fairer and easier because you would have 50 states, and Virginia could gain back an electoral vote, and it would benefit Republicans even more if DC was not able to vote, because it's not a state, it's a territory. They don't have any voting power in Congress, but it would be a good compromise because they would actually gain voting power in Congress if they did pass something that would put DC in the state of Virginia. And I know the founding fathers went on and on about how they didn't think that one state should have too much power in terms of putting the capital in the state of Virginia or Maryland. They had a compromise, but I honestly think it wouldn't be that bad of a deal, that bad of an idea. The state of Virginia, not really known for a whole lot. Maybe they could get known for something. They could get the state of or they could get the city of Washington, D.C. I really think that would benefit their state's tourist budget, and I definitely think that it would cut a lot of red tape that you have in terms of creating a whole, basically a district government out in D.C. So I personally think that D.C. should join Virginia. Maybe you have some counties in the western part of Virginia join West Virginia. West Virginia gets bigger. West Virginia gets a couple more electoral votes, as we can see here, but it really does seem like a lot of people are fed up with these gun infringements, and you see a lot of people fed up in this country right now. You see a lot of people at that debate. I wanted to touch a little bit on the debate before I end the video, because even Van Jones, even people on the left, the far left arguably, are saying that there is not a person on that stage that can beat Donald Trump, and I firmly agree with them. And there's a lot of talk to go around. Biden, non-factor. Warren and Bernie dragging each other down. Buttigieg, non-factor. Klobuchar and Steyer, non-viable non-factors. So there you go. That's your party. You've basically shut out Yang. You've shut out Gabbard. You've shut out basically everybody with half a voice of reason. I'm not specifically talking about the candidates, but I'm talking about the policy proposals that some of these candidates have put forward. They basically shifted the Overton window to the left and just completely opened it that way. And now you're starting to see even the so-called moderates displaying policies, especially socially, on social issues, that you would not have seen them display, I guess you would say, 10 to 15 years ago on the left. You could argue that the left may have been biased, the left may have been wrong back then. The left was definitely more sane. However, now the left has completely gone off the rails. They've completely gone off the left. They are no longer pro-America anymore. They are pro-Mexico. They are pro a bunch of other countries before they're pro-America. They're pro-Iran. They're pro-giving money for Iran to build nuclear weapons over pro-America, pro-supporting American military. They're trying to do everything they can to expand the size of government by 300, 400%. And you talk about socialism and you talk about what it entails. Not all forms of government are socialism, but a radical transformation that is self-described socialism, which Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren are pushing, could very well be perceived as dangerous. But it was also hilarious to see them go back and forth in that last debate, talking about basically trying to outdo each other in terms of who was more righteous, who was more woke. It's the woke Olympics, and you're really going to see that ahead of some of these states with more minority voters. The pandering is going to increase significantly, especially the ones that aren't Biden. And Biden's probably going to make a few gaffes of his own in the process, which is going to be quite hilarious to watch. And I do expect Bernie maybe to still win Iowa. He went down in the polls. It wasn't because of the Project Veritas tape. I don't believe they even mentioned it once at the debate. It does seem like that will probably hurt him if he becomes the nominee, but I don't think it's going to hurt him at all. But I'm really looking forward to seeing what Project Veritas releases in the future, because they've always been good at definitely getting the Democrats on certain issues. They definitely are able to bust some of these campaign managers, seeing what they really feel. However, I don't think that they represent the views of the entire Bernie campaign. I don't think everybody in the Bernie campaign wants to go and burn down the city of Milwaukee at the DNC, although I definitely think you will see riots, you will see unrest, and the party is definitely divided right now. You definitely have a divided Democrat Party. That is a good thing for Trump. That's a good thing for Republicans going into the election. So whether Virginia's electoral vote split off or not, I do think that Donald Trump is going to have a very good chance. I think he is going to have a very good showing in these states, and maybe it could help him win Virginia by emboldening a certain type of voter, especially if he's going up against Bernie or Warren. I don't see it happening. I don't think the DNC will let it happen, and you already saw what happened last night where they just ripped each other to shreds. You have accusations being thrown around. Some are real, some are false. People are trending hashtag never Warren, hashtag never Bernie. The fan bases are getting in each other's faces about the whole issue, and it's a total joke, but we'll see what it is. We'll see exactly what happens. But anyways, guys, thanks for watching the video. Please like the video down below. Please hit that subscribe button. Make sure you have the notifications turned on so you never miss another video. Follow me on social media. Join the Discord. Donate to the Patreon for exclusive content. Links in description. And thanks for watching, guys. Red Eagle, out.